My child, listen to me carefully. I know there have been moments recently when you felt like you were carrying everything alone. Not because there were no people around you, but because the weight inside your heart felt too heavy to explain. You tried to put it into words, but the words didn't seem strong enough. You tried to share a little, but it felt easier to just say, "I'm fine," but I know you're not always fine. I see the silent battles. I see the thoughts that keep you awake at night. I see the pressure you feel to stay strong, to keep going, to not let anyone see how tired you really are. And in the middle of all that, I want you to hear this clearly. You are not alone. Even when you feel isolated, even when you feel misunderstood, even when you feel unseen, I am with you. You have been stronger than you realize. You have continued to show up even when your energy felt low. You have continued to believe even when doubt whispered in your mind. You have continued to move forward even when part of you wanted to stop and rest from everything. And while others may not see the effort it takes for you to keep going, I see it. I see the courage it takes to wake up and face another day. I see the discipline it takes to not give in to fear. I see the strength it takes to remain kind when you feel overwhelmed. You may think you are doing this by yourself, but you are not. There were moments when you felt like giving up, and something inside you told you to hold on just a little longer. That wasn't random. That was me strengthening you. There were moments when you felt peace in the middle of chaos and couldn't explain why. That wasn't coincidence. That was my presence surrounding you. If these words are speaking directly to your heart right now, take a gentle moment and press the like button. It helps this message reach someone else who feels alone today. You have been walking through uncertainty, questions about your future, questions about decisions, questions about relationships, and sometimes the silence feels louder than answers. You prayed for clarity and instead received stillness. You prayed for direction and instead received patience. But stillness does not mean absence. When you felt confused but didn't completely fall apart, I was there. When you felt weak but somehow kept going, I was there. When doors closed but you were protected from something you later understood, I was there. I do not leave you in your struggles. You are not navigating this season by yourself. I am beside you in conversations you don't know how to handle. I am beside you when you sit quietly thinking about what comes next. I am beside you when fear tries to convince you that you are unsupported. You are supported. You may not always feel my presence in dramatic ways. I do not always speak through loud signs or sudden breakthroughs. Sometimes I speak through quiet strength. Sometimes I speak through the calm that keeps you steady when everything else feels uncertain. You have survived things you once thought would break you. You have endured seasons that once felt impossible. And if you look closely, you will see that you were never alone in those seasons either. I carried you when you were too tired to carry yourself. If you want to continue receiving reminders like this during difficult seasons, subscribe to God Says Daily so you do not miss what your heart needs to hear. There were nights when you felt overwhelmed and didn't know how to pray. Nights when words felt empty. Nights when all you could do was sit in silence. And even then, I understood your silence. You do not need perfect words for me to stay near you. You do not need perfect faith for me to walk beside you. You do not need to pretend you are strong for me to remain with you. I am with you in your weakness. You have also been carrying responsibility that feels heavy. Expectations from others. Expectations from yourself. The desire to succeed. The fear of failing. And sometimes you feel like if you stop holding everything together, it will all fall apart. But you were never meant to carry everything alone. You do not have to solve every problem tonight. You do not have to control every outcome. You do not have to be everything for everyone. You only need to take the next step and I will take it with you. There are moments ahead that will test you, but they will not defeat you. There are decisions ahead that may feel big, but you will not face them alone. There are changes ahead that may feel uncertain, but they are not outside of my control. You are not walking into your future unsupported. If you know someone who feels isolated or overwhelmed, share this video with them. It may remind them that they are not alone either. I am with you when anxiety rises unexpectedly. I am with you when disappointment hits harder than you expected. I am with you when plans change. I am with you when people misunderstand you. Even when others walk away, I remain. You have been afraid that if certain people leave, you will be left without support. But your foundation does not rest on people. Your security does not depend on approval. Your strength does not come from circumstances. Your strength comes from my presence. You are held even when you do not feel it. You are guided even when you do not see it. You are protected even when you do not realize it. There will come a time when you look back at this season and realize how many times I stepped in quietly, how many times I shielded you from something worse, how many times I carried the weight you thought you were carrying alone. But for now, just remember this. You are not alone in this moment. You are not alone in your fear. You are not alone in your waiting. You are not alone in your healing. I am with you. Stay steady. Stay open. Stay trusting. And when the day feels heavy, pause and remember that you are supported in ways you cannot always see. Before you leave, like this video, subscribe to God Says Daily and share this message with someone who needs to hear that they are not alone. I am with you. Even now, there are parts of your story you rarely talk about. Moments that shaped you quietly. Disappointments that changed how you see things. Times when you felt small, overlooked, or forgotten. You learned how to handle things alone because you felt like you had no other choice. But you were never truly alone. Even when you didn't recognize my presence, I was guiding you through decisions you thought were entirely yours. I was closing doors you thought you wanted open. I was softening blows that could have hurt far more than they did. I was strengthening your heart in ways you didn't even realize were happening. You often measure my presence by how you feel. When you feel strong, you assume I am near. When you feel weak, you assume I am distant. But my presence is not dependent on your emotions. I am constant. I do not move away when you struggle. I do not step back when you doubt. I stay. You have feared loneliness more than you admit. Not just physical loneliness, but emotional isolation. The fear that no one fully understands you. The fear that if you show too much vulnerability, people may pull away. The fear that you are carrying more than others realize. I understand you completely. There is nothing about your heart that surprises me. Nothing about your struggle that confuses me. Nothing about your weakness that makes me step away. When you cry quietly, I am there. When you feel misunderstood, I am there. When you feel like giving up, I am there. You are not navigating this life unsupported. There are days ahead that will require courage, conversations that will require wisdom, decisions that will require faith. And when those moments arrive, you will not face them alone. I will steady your thoughts. I will guard your heart. I will strengthen your resolve. You may not always see dramatic miracles. You may not always hear loud answers. But you will feel the quiet strength that carries you through what once would have overwhelmed you. That quiet strength is my presence. If this message is reminding you that you are not alone, take a moment to like this video. It allows this reassurance to reach someone else who needs it tonight. You have also been carrying regret. Regret about things you wish you had done differently. Regret about opportunities missed. Regret about words spoken or left unsaid. And sometimes that regret makes you feel even more isolated. But I am with you in your healing too. I do not define you by your past mistakes. I do not walk away because you stumbled. I do not withdraw because you struggled. I stay close while you grow. You are not disqualified from my presence because of your imperfections. You are loved in the middle of them. You will not always understand why certain people leave or why certain seasons change, but you will begin to see that my presence remains steady when everything else shifts. When people misunderstand you, I understand you. When people walk away, I remain. When circumstances change, I am constant. You are not building your life alone, even when it feels quiet, even when it feels slow, even when it feels uncertain. If you want to continue hearing reminders that strengthen your faith during difficult moments, subscribe to God Says Daily so you do not miss what your heart needs in this season. There will be moments soon when you realize how much you have grown. Moments when you notice that what once overwhelmed you now strengthens you. Moments when you recognize that the fear that once controlled you no longer has the same power. That growth did not happen by accident. It happened because you were never alone in the process. You were guided, you were protected, you were supported, and you still are. You may walk into rooms where you feel unsure. You may face days where anxiety tries to return. You may encounter setbacks that test your patience. But remember this, you are not entering those moments unsupported. I go before you. I walk beside you. I remain behind you as protection. You are surrounded in ways you cannot always see. Loneliness may whisper that you are by yourself. Fear may try to convince you that no one truly cares. Doubt may attempt to separate you from confidence. But none of those voices define your reality. Your reality is this: you are accompanied, you are covered, you are cared for. When you lie awake at night thinking about everything you must handle, pause and remember that you do not handle it alone. When you wake up anxious about what the day might bring, remember that you are stepping into it with support. Even when your faith feels small, my presence is not. Even when your strength feels limited, my support is not. You are not alone in your waiting. You are not alone in your growth. You are not alone in your uncertainty. You are not alone in this life. If you know someone who feels isolated or overwhelmed, share this video with them. These words may be the reassurance they have been quietly needing. There will come a day when you look back and realize how consistently I walked with you through seasons you once feared. You will see how often I steadied your steps. You will understand how many times I carried what you thought you were carrying alone. And you will feel gratitude instead of fear. Until then, keep walking, keep trusting, keep believing that you are supported even when you cannot see the full picture. You are not alone in this moment. You are not alone in this season. You are not alone in your story. Before you leave, like this video, subscribe to God Says Daily and share this message with someone who needs to feel supported today. I am with you, not sometimes, not only when you are strong, not only when you are confident, always.